What's good, beautiful people? Welcome to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. We are here to go over the Housewives of Miami. This was season 7, episode 7, Textual Tension. Hi to James. Welcome in. He's our regular co-host. The link to James's channel is in the description of this video. There's also a playlist called the Watch Your Mouth Reviews Collabs that's on this channel. Watch a video. It helps him with watch time hours, supports his channel. Give the video a like. Subscribe to his channel. Please subscribe. But we're going to get into this episode, y'all. This episode, not much happened until the end. And what happened at the end was something that we had discussed when the season aired, because Gertie had also posted receipts online earlier in the season. So we start this episode meeting Julia's sons that she adopted. Their boys are Jackson with an X and Luca. They're both very cute. Very, very cute. I'm curious to hear their story. But I am concerned, like Martina, when you look at her with them babies, she looked like their grandparent. And I'm not being shady because we know that she's an older woman, but I was happy to hear Julia say that Martina has like more energy dealing with the boys, because I know Julia has kids, but these are Martina's first kids, I believe, if I'm correct. I don't really know too much, but you know, congrats to them. Adriana, Alexia, they show up to meet with the boys, and Julia tells us that she's friends with Karamo, who's well known, and she was invited to an event for the LGBTQ plus community, and she's going to speak at it, and she's going to invite all of the women. I do feel like I like that Julia uses the platform to bring awareness to the community that she's a part of. And I think I will give her credit for that, even though I don't like her. I also like that she's bringing awareness to the African-American part of that community, which at least I can't speak for everywhere else, but I know here in the Bay Area of the deaths that happen and the crimes against people who are in that community, I would say probably over 60% of them happen to Black people in that community. So I support Julia for supporting that community on here. Not much happened. James, how'd you feel about seeing the boys in the event she's going to have?
They were so adorable that I could not take it. I was like, oh. No, I have baby fever. It is a real thing. I'm going crazy over here. Like, I swear someone threatened to water me down with the water hose just because it's so crazy. But I also respect her in that light as well. I think that is a beautiful thing to spread awareness and to make sure that things, go publicly known. Because unfortunately, as you mentioned, it is still something that a lot of, especially Black people, go through on a day-to-day just because of, the toxicity of our environments. It's really crazy just that this is still something that people feel like they have to take into their own hands to prove a point. So, I do appreciate that. It was very, interesting that it would be her selected to do this. I wonder how much Andy had a play in that. I really do, because I just don't see Karamo reaching out to her. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
But, for the show purposes, it's cute.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. James said I give too much grace. But the next thing we see, Larsa has purchased a new home, 5 bedrooms, beautiful house. Anybody purchasing a home in Miami alone, man or woman, I respect you. Miami, there's like the big 5 in the United States: Miami, California, New York, Chicago, notoriously expensive for purchasing a home. So congrats on her new home. We see that she's changing her closet, and Stephanie comes over. Not too much happens. I actually thought these two were cute together. I don't care for Larsa, but Larsa with certain people is easier. And I like about Larsa that she appreciates people like Stephanie, or who are just straight to the point. It's a good way to be. If we're going to be messy, you should be that way. But
I was just going to say that. I'm like, that's the way you want her to be, because it could be a whole lot worse. So...
Did you have anything to add to that little closet scene? I have nothing.
No, because they didn't talk about nothing worth mentioning. And y'all know how I feel about Larsa, so we're going to move on.
Yeah. Now we arrived to Julia's event, and all of the women will be coming because Julia did invite everyone. I do like that she did not exclude everybody, but I was cracking up because Lisa arrived on time with everybody else and admitted in her confessional, I don't want to hear Stephanie's mouth, so I'm on time. I said, now that's what the rest of you weak bitches need to do. That's exactly why Lisa's showing up on time for someone that she has met within a few weeks when she couldn't show up for her so-called friends and they claim they've known her for 16 years, as Marisol says. Just shows you right there, people do what you allow them to do. Don't let nobody play with you. Don't let nobody play with you because she was on time. Thank you, Stephanie. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. So everybody is sitting at the table during the event, and Alexia lets everybody know again at a public place that she ran into Todd, who is still technically her husband, and they kicked it all night long, and she made out with him. And I'm kind of just tired of Alexia bringing up this relationship as if she's a 14-year-old or a 24-year-old versus a 40-something-year-old woman. Like, stop. Shit or get off the pot. If you like this treatment, then stay with him. But stop telling people about your interactions with him and then expecting like some sort of a brownie or a fucking cookie. Alexia loves to be the center of attention. Narcissism looks and presents itself in various ways. It doesn't always look like the cookie cutter definition that everybody, thinks that they would see. That's the difference and why some people can become educated in it to learn more about it. But Alexia narcissist her damn self, so I wasn't happy to hear her bring up this man again. But Gertie did confirm, which I was cracking up at Gertie. I was cracking up because this is something that a Black person would do. She's like, while they talking, presenting stuff, I just want to make sure everybody got my text message about my event. And I saw Julia look, but it looked like Julia was like, I'm going to just let it go. Because this isn't even Julia's event. She got invited and was allowed to invite them. But how do you feel, James, about Alexia bringing up the man at the table and Lisa finally being on time?
Good job, Lisa, finally. I feel like this. I feel like she wants some sort of like sympathy vote that it's not her that's the cause of this relationship downfall, and that it's completely him. And she does it in these subliminal ways to where it then gets everybody on her side without people side-eyeing her to think that she could potentially be the problem, which, as I said in the beginning, I think a lot of the reason why the demise of this relationship is happening is because of her. I do. And there's no one that's going to convince me otherwise. Just because at the end of the day, I know how Miami people are. I've lived there for a while. Yes, I think that this was a way to seek attention to make sure she got everybody on her side, which I don't feel like a lot of the women know him. So I don't understand why she even had to do that in the first place. It was the worst cry for attention I think I've ever seen.
Agree. I definitely agree. This episode was really dry up until the end, y'all. I'm so sorry.
You do the best you can, friend. You're doing good.
Thank you. That's pretty much it, though. Nothing really happened at the event. Everyone actually got along at this event, which I enjoyed seeing. And then we fast forward to the time of Gertie's event. Now, Gertie's event is a celebration of life party because she has been cancer-free for a year, and I think she absolutely should fucking celebrate it. So I did support the party. Now, the first person to arrive was Julia. And I knew from the clip that they showed last week of what would be in this episode, I was like, OMG, it's going to be some craziness. So Julia is making conversation with Gertie's husband, Russell, and it was very, very awkward. But Julia announces that she has adopted the boys. And it's like, you think this woman hasn't gone and told her husband how you made everyone to seem like she treated your kid's adoption like it wasn't shit when she didn't. She has proof that she tried to actually get back into the meeting. You didn't let her. You treated her like a fan, wanted her to find out online. Then you asked her to go with you on a cruise or to another event because you were nervous about your wife having to have a surgery. Like, Julia's crazy to me. The fact that she would even talk to him like that. But when he said to her, congratulations and good luck, you could tell that Julia felt a little awkward. And I was like, that's what you should do, husband. Don't argue with the women, but also don't pretend. Don't pretend. Congratulations and good luck. You attacked his wife about these babies, and now you expect him to fucking do a dance with you in excitement about your child? Julia is strange, James.
No, she isn't strange. She's just a woman that's trying to get her storyline pushed through to make sure she come back next season. That's all that is. That's all that is. It's like, man, we know the game. First of all, we're not new to this. We true to this. We've been Housewives OG fans since the moment Atlanta started. That put all of y'all on the map. So we're not gonna ever forget that. Man, you doing what hundreds of thousands of housewives do, which is use other people to make sure your story gets across so that you can stir up enough drama to come back the next season. You're trying to get your set up for next season. I see it.
It's the truth. It's definitely the truth. I agree with that. Now, at the event, Julia says that Todd told her, because for whatever reason, Julia was out with Todd. And she says that Todd, Alexia's husband / soon to be ex, whatever the hell dance they doing, told her that he is trying to win Alexia back. And then Alexia comes over and Stephanie comes over right behind her. And I was cracking up because they're talking about Todd, and Stephanie was like, oh yeah, the one she already had a whole party for him, the narcissism party, which would make sense. And Alexia's not Alexia, but Stephanie's kind of tired of Alexia always bringing Todd up and tired of hearing about him, which I can't blame her. And she brings them up at like the weirdest times. Bring Todd up when you're like just having a drink with your girls in the backyard or something, not at a freaking event. Like, that's weird. So Stephanie did come at Alexia hot, I'm not gonna lie, but I honestly can't blame her. I would have just walked away like, I don't want to hear this shit, and said something in the confessional. But Stephanie called it out right then and there. But I can't blame her. Like, Alexia, nobody cares at this point. You just don't do good with men. We don't care. Now that I know you was perpetrating for the camera, don't use the man that was perpetrating with you for a storyline. I want to see how broke you really are. That's all I care about. So I will leave that there. James, how did you feel about Alexia and Stephanie's interaction? Uh-oh, he went away.
No, I didn't. I'm right here. I was on mute. See, here's the thing. Like you, I want to see how broke she really is as well, because nothing adds up with her at all. And it's starting to get to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to keep buying all this rigmarole and tears from you, man. Say what it is, move the hell on, and let's get on with our lives here instead of you putting on this facade and all this. I'm so sick of her. I really am, because it's getting annoying. That's all I have to say.
Understandable. 1 second. Okay, so sorry. So the next thing we see at this weird bit is Gertie gives a speech about beating cancer. Very, moving speech. I'm happy for anybody that's able to beat a disease that has the opportunity to take their life. So very good job to her. She thanked her husband and her kids. But then I noticed that she made sure her husband and her kids got up out of there. I said, huh. And Gertie gets back on the stage because she did tell us, if we pay attention in the first speech, to stand by. And she gets back on stage and says that she wanted to clarify some incidents and expose lies that people have perpetuated against her that questioned her character. And she shows text messages on a big ass projector screen. And the text messages are basically text messages confirming that she did not volunteer to do anything for Julia. Julia actually asked her to do it. The text all pretty much confirmed every lie that Julia had told about their interactions. There are also more texts that Gertie has posted online at the start of this season airing. So I got what Gertie was trying to do, but I think just like the Kenya Moore thing, it just was not the time and the place. If you're going to celebrate your life, then celebrate your life. But I can also feel like this is the time and the place, because she said in celebrating her life, she's not going to let nobody play with her no more. So I can definitely understand that. But I did find it interesting that the other woman called Gertie dirty for doing this. Marisol and Alexia were so upset. They were more upset at Gertie for posting screenshots proving that someone else lied on her, who assaulted her. They are more offended at Gertie posting a text message than someone throwing a glass of water in Gertie's face, which is assault, which is baffling. And this is exactly why Black people be talking about we deal with microaggressions. There is a lack of equality, and people think that just because they don't use the N word with a hard ER, that they don't have racial tendencies, when yes, you can. Because if anybody else, if Gertie were to throw water on anybody else and or tell a lie on anybody else, I guarantee these women, we would never hear the end of it. They'd be concerned for safety and needing to talk to production and so offended. But she posts some text messages proving a bitch that's already assaulted her also lied on her. And they are disgusted with Gertie. I don't understand it. And I love that the production showed that Gertie like made the decision at the last minute to do it. She said to her assistant, what I just text you, I want you to put on the screen when I say this code word. So it looks like she planned to do this at the last minute. However, Gertie's not dirty. Julia chose to attack a cancer survivor physically, and she lied on her. But I just can't. I can't. They end up leaving. But the people who stayed and did defend Gertie were Adriana. Even Lisa stayed. Because it's like, at the end of the day, it's not their plight. And if you play with them, you play with them. Now, I don't like that everybody has the I'm not going to text Gertie thing. But Gertie ain't going to reveal shit unless you lie on her. If you lie on somebody, then you have to expect that they're going to expose your text if they have the receipt. And now then Julia looked caught. She did look caught. But Stephanie goes outside and gets into it with Alexia because Alexia tries to tell Stephanie that she needs to choose a side. And Stephanie's like, this is stupid. She told Alexia to shut the fuck up and read her for filth for the most part and went back inside. And I was happy with it. The ladies are trying to spread this narrative that on top of it being a dirty thing to do, Gertie took away from cancer. Until you have gone through cancer, politely shut the fuck up. None of us have the right to tell anybody who went through cancer what they can do and how they can celebrate their cancer. If this lady said, I have a second chance at life, I'm not going to let nobody play with me, I'm going to expose her ass, then let her do that. Who are we to tell her what to do? I'm just saying. So, James, how do you feel about all of it?
I feel like these women are the biggest bunch of hypocrites I've ever seen in my life. Because as you said, so it was okay for Julia to throw that water in her face, but it wasn't okay for her to for Gertie to spread the receipts that nothing happened the way Julia perpetuated that it happened and that she's a liar. But that's deceitful because she called this woman out. Didn't physically assault her, didn't do anything, but just cleared her own conscience that she was wrong, that she wasn't wrong in this situation and that the water was unwarranted. But we're going to overlook that because it's in public when the water thrown in her face was in public as well. So I'm trying to figure out what the hell the issue is, Larsa. So,
Makes no sense.
It doesn't make
getting
sense.
mad too when Larsa made an egregious comment last season about Gertie's cancer. Is also
that's what I was just getting at because I just thought,
come on, like now you guys are offended. Like I'm tired of the double standard. It's not okay. When housewives start to behave and move like this, that's where production should come in and intentionally change up the cast so that shit like this don't happen.
Absolutely. And while we're at, and you said the magic word, while we're at it, bravo in that call center. I have not called y'all out in a long time, but bravo in that call center. I need, now that we're trying to make this a classy Miami Housewives show, and since none of them really educate the class of epitome of successful women out there, they ignorant in their own ways, go ahead and bring a nice, sturdy, very mixed between who do we love? So I'm gonna say between Nene, Mary Cosby, and Kenya Moore. I need a triple threat on the show that is an ally of Gertie. And she need to be real ignorant. I mean, I need her to question Larsa about this, dating men that she could have gave birth to. I need her to question Julia and these microaggressions. I need her to question, I just need her just to go around the circle and have Gertie's back because clearly that's what's lacking on this show. And y'all can replace her with Kiki.
Well, we had that. Dr. Nicole is gone. And I feel like Dr. Nicole would have had Gertie's back. I do feel that way. But I also feel like the women on this show are intimidated in terms of who's left by women that are intelligent and not afraid to be them versus concerned with how they look. And no shade, but Kiki, Larsa, Lisa, Alexia, Marisol, they are all very concerned with looking a certain way. And so they're never going to be like fully authentic on the show. So we'll see. We'll see. But that's all that happened this episode. I ain't never in my life with James here. When I'm by myself, I could get through a recap pretty fast. But with James here to be done in 20 minutes, what happens if Gertie's gone? What these bitches gonna give us? Because I was bored this episode. I'm gonna tell the truth and shame the devil. I was bored until the very end. And while what Gertie did, I don't like that she did it at a party for her, kind of how I felt about Kenya Moore out in Brit Edie or whatever the hell. But honestly, I knew she would do something. If you assault me, I have the right to come back at you in any way. And if I do it without touching you, then be grateful and shut the hell up.
I agree. Because I was going to say, when it comes to the whole like Kenya Moore thing, we're talking about the threat versus actually being physically assaulted. So I kind of feel like I see where you were going with that one, and I just agree.
Don't like that people dim their own light of their event by bringing drama to it. Has nothing to do with like the threat or assault. Like get your get back at people, but don't do it in a way that's going to take away from your own accolade or your own business or your own message. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that I can agree with. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't like that she did it there. If she would have done it at like just the women having dinner together or on a trip, like at dinner, that's fine. But you did it at your own event in front of people who don't know and don't give a damn. That part was weird. But Gertie was well within her right. She was assaulted. She didn't even flinch back. I would have been over the table. She didn't even flinch. So I don't know.
I went to jail that night, so it would be
right. I would have bailed you out. You wouldn't have done no time, and I would have called a cousin for a lawyer.
Because I know I'd have went to jail that night. The moment, as soon as that first little drop, like it probably would have looked worse than it looked on Gertie. It probably would have looked like I was bobbing for apples the way I would have ran across that table.
And I'm just saying, no shade. Gertie is wearing her bald head and she's wearing it beautifully. Use it to your advantage, Gertie, please. What the movie say, it makes you aerodynamic when you fight. Tear that ass up if somebody play with you. You get physically assaulted, tear that ass up. Give it all that you got. And so I'm kind of like, okay, she had her get back, but I don't know. We'll see. We will see. But we'll be back again next week, y'all. This channel, I will be live again on Tuesday to go over Basketball Wives. I'm not looking forward to it. Other than that, James, I believe, will be live on his channel. I don't know if he's doing Next Gen NYC today because he's got some injuries. He works nights. But I know that James will be back on this channel probably on Sunday, but I'm going to let you know.
Yep, for Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I'll do Next Gen NYC that same day.
Okie dokie. And the Braxtons are coming back in October. Please help me, y'all, convince James to do it.
Don't bring that up.
I want you to do it.
No. I don't have time. Y'all, please. I have to have surgery on Wednesday, and I don't feel like I'm being agitated by some old, And I love the Braxtons. I love all of them, including Tawana. But I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm excited about them coming back. But I didn't think they were coming back. I thought for sure that show got pulled. I really did. I knew that show got pulled. And the fact
I
that it
think
is coming
TV
back.
just wants to keep, and with Tamar's behavior, them relevant. But there's some shows that are coming back. We'll be covering also the Deb's House R&B show on my channel. James also has King's Court. That's on his channel. So just hang in there.
Yeah, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I'm hearing it's coming back in September. So that will be back on my channel as well.
Oh, Lord. They
Yes, and
stress me out.
I'm so ready for it. Y'all know that is one of my favorite Real Housewife franchises. So I'm excited for it. I cannot wait to see what the ladies bring. I'm going to be reading Heather Gay for Filth, so I cannot wait. Yes, it is about to be a time. But thank you for having me. I appreciate you. I take my little nap now because my medication.
All right. We will be back, y'all, next week. Y'all have a good day.
See you.
Adios.